Hey there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Before the video starts, I want to let you know that if you like it, to leave a like and a comment down below. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel and click the little bell icon to be up to date with my latest content, as well as joining the notification squad or wolfification squad like this pack legend here. Thanks for your support, and enjoy the video. Starve a Curse. Feed the Soul. Chapter 2. Reasoning. Not too far from the road, but deep enough and well away from civilization, the stationary white jeep hummed inaudibly under the austere gales of the wintry woods whilst snow was dusting the jade foliage and undergrowth into a hazy white. The approaching stormy clouds had enveloped the moonlight, which could have provided some more visibility and assurance for the only human in the midst of the deep, dank darkness. Inside the running four-wheeler, Summer sat quietly in the driver's seat. The defroster was on, in order to keep the windshield and rear glass visible, and the air and seat heater was turned to max. While fidgeting her brown high boots, the chilled woman tugged down her brown beanie until the cotton cap reached her non-pierced lobes, and rubbed her arms under the faux fur tan coat. The chosen apparel was all earth shades to blend in. And yet, at the same time, the woman unwillingly wanted to stand out. Having those past Shudder episodes was a walk on the beach compared to how she was feeling now. Summer speculated if all those cold spells were maybe some sort of premonition or sixth sense. With a slow blink, she craned her neck into the headrest. God, I've binge-watched way too many fucking movies. But then again, the woman skimmed around at what she was doing, waiting in her jeep with the driver's window ajar to allow her scent to be discovered. Wonderful, Summer. Now all you need is a dollop of butter on your head and an apple in your mouth. Shut up, she murmured to her bantering psyche. The backpack was placed below the front passenger seat, and the rear passenger ones were pushed down for space. Jugs of gas were in the truck, and, as insurance, a couple of extra car batteries. Never in her earlier years had the woman thought would she own a Jeep. Summer loved fast cars, and dearly missed the gorgeous ocean teal 64 Corvette that Dante had passed on to her. It had been a little slice of heaven on wheels, and it saddened her to be rid of it. But she had no use for it anymore, and no way in hell could the little coupe be used for what she was doing presently. Summer had managed to find her treasure a respectable owner, and sold it for quite a lot, in which she gave to her parents to help pay off Autumn's student loans. The woman had gotten accustomed to handling the big four-wheeler in no time, and nowadays she wouldn't want to drive anything else. Feeling irritated, Summer's eyes scrutinized around the silent, snowing surroundings. The Jeep's headlights were her only light source, and the abominating powdered crap wasn't helping. The blizzard was supposed to take over everything already. However, it was merely falling flurries, as if the weather was taunting the woman with the imminent severe storm. She grimaced with a cynical scoff. Oh, fuck, Winter's sure taking his goddamn time. Summer looked at the digital clock and temperature on the dashboard. It read 11:15 and 7 freezing degrees. She peeked at her phone from out of her top pocket to make sure it was the correct time. It was. The nervy woman had been sitting out in the cold for over 2 hours. She was tempted with trying a different area, but quickly thought against it. She and Robert had learned that moving to constant, unplanned spots didn't improve any chances. The Northwoods was so vast there was earth that no other heels nor wheels had ever touched upon. Plus, her reasons for being at this location was far from being random. Ironically, it was sheer blind luck when Robert had captured that ungodly sound 9 years ago, around the time when another hunter went missing. The man had fallen asleep in his truck when his memo recorder had picked it up, and he had awoken Summer when he finally realized that his phone actually had it. Robert would often call her at crazy hours with crazy ideas and going on about crazy discoveries, so it shocked her greatly when he played that abhorring yell. Summer wasn't too surprised that Robert had dozed off. The poor man just couldn't help it. He was searching every single night for a decade and was dead on his feet. He required and deserved much-needed rest. But still. She glimpsed around once more, shaking her head. Dear Lord, this is fucking insane. She was out in the pitch of night, alone in this fucking forest, posting herself as fucking bait. She was in dire need of a fucking cigarette. Falteringly, the woman unzipped and pulled out the semi-automatic from her coat's right pocket, pressing her head again into the back of the rest with a shaky sigh. God, she really wished Robert were here. He was intended to be the shooter, but after a bad heart attack just this year, Summer's conscience wouldn't allow the 61-year-old man to deal with all this maddening stress. The woman lowered her sights to the held revolver while her left gloveless fingers traced over the metallic barrel. Shit. Robert was the experienced huntsman, not her. She'd asked him for lessons, multiple times, but he would always advise against it. The older man just didn't want to lose anyone else. So, Summer had another teacher, which was none other than the first-person shooter games. During the recent months, the woman had gotten quite good after countless errors and losses, and even had won some online tournaments. However, what she was playing tonight was in no way, in any shape or form, a game. But after waiting for so long for this opportunity, Summer now had it. Since the grief, the woman had become a light sleeper. It seemed that her subconscious was keeping her on the high alert for what she needed to be aware of. And though the nightmares did upset her sleep patterns, it was perhaps significantly altered when he was no longer beside her. After the sidearm was laid on the gray fabric cushion of the passenger seat, Summer undone the coat's top button after briefly stroking its realistic furred trim with pride. He had never approved of real fur or hide on any piece of clothing. The woman reached in her turtleneck, lifting up a rope chain necklace. With shimmering eyes, she admired the small gold hoop as its appointed pendant, smiling softly. The ring was the only personal thing that had resurfaced, and that was the last time Summer had truly cried openly. Tears would fill up, but would never fall. A few snips would come, but never a sob. She'd often conjectured if being incomplete meant she would always be broken. After a light kiss, Summer tucked her beloved keepsake underneath her sweater and pressed her lips over the ring within her glove, attesting to herself this was the reason she was out here. Once she could not detect any suspicious movement outside, Summer opened up the Jeep's glove compartment and took out an old photo strip. The woman's old phone was safely stored at home, in fear of misplacing it and its cherished stored photos and videos forever. With a small sniff, Summer dawningly viewed the 6 connected photographs containing her younger self posing with a young, tan-skinned man. His jet-black hair was a beautiful contrast to icy blue eyes. The photoed couple were smiling so bubbly and were so joyful and merry that day. I can't believe the mall still has these things, commented the young woman, observing the photo booth that was across from a luxurious indoor water fountain. She turned her head to see she was standing alone. Baby? Right here, love, replied the smooth, pleasant male voice over the holiday music. Just a sec. The dark-haired man, sporting a blue coat, tossed a coin into the chiseled cascade's rippling water. Then, picking up his shopping bag, he walked back to the awaiting woman. So, what did you wish for? She playfully inquired, swaying her torso and her own paper tote from side to side. The man chuckled and winked. You know I can't tell you. Well, could you let me know when it comes true then? Well, let's hope I can tell you in the morning. Perv. The woman swatted his arm teasingly, and both pairs of icy blue and amber irises returned to the booth. The man peeked inside of it, parting over sleek side bangs for a better look. Huh. I'm amazed this mall would still have this around. That's what I've said. I figured they'd be locked away somewhere, considering phones can do pretty much the same thing. Yeah, those smartphones are getting too smart if you ask me, he mentions, stepping out of the old cubicle. The woman shook her head with a light laugh. Baby, they aren't such a big deal. You need to get with the times and upgrade that old flip phone already. The man removed his mobile phone from his black jeans and opened it. But I'd miss doing this, and holding it near his face, and nudged it closed and tapped his narrow nose. At least this seal snout is good for something. And for someone, snickered the woman as her high-heeled boots took her a few paces and gave a stroke to the bridge of the man's nose. You know me, the stronger the profile, the stronger I am for the guy modeling it. The man couldn't help but grin. Yes, guess this big beak isn't such a liability. Returning the phone to his pocket, he skimmed through the big, bustling indoor shopping center. I don't see Mom or Dad yet. They were going to meet us by the huge fountain, correct? The woman also scanned the festive atmosphere. Uh-huh. They're probably still finishing up lunch at the eatery. Let's give them some more time before calling. The man nodded. Sure, makes sense. We know how Dad loves his fries. Yeah, and Mom said his doctors told him that he needs to cut out the fried foods, the woman said with a sigh. She's worried, and so am I, especially since he still goes out in that crazy wilderness all the goddamn time. The man put down his bag and laced his arms around her. Dad will be fine, love. He's smart. He never goes alone. He's either with a hunting buddy or with me while we're visiting. Dad's stubborn as an ox, but he's just as resilient. The man rubbed her pink coat's limbs as his lips raised reassuringly. Also, Mom has him on a short leash with the fried stuff. She'll make sure he eats the baked fries. Trust me. The woman matched his smile and nodded. Okay, that does make me feel a little better. The young couple then turned to look at the booth again, and the man grinned gleefully. So, in the meantime, while we wait, let's get some pictures. Still in his embrace, the woman shrugged her shoulders with a curt frown. Oh, baby, I don't know. I've always hated these things as a kid. They make me feel like some kind of freaky doll or something. Are you kidding? The man said, gently cupping her small chin. More like a china doll. The woman's cheeks twinged rosy as she glanced away. Baby, please. The man slipped out a bill from his wallet. Come on, love. This is our true Christmas together. I want everybody to see the corny, sweet, holiday vacation mall pictures of me and my favorite girl. I'm your only girl, giggled his life partner, waving her ringed left hand. Her husband lifted his own as well. Yes, Summer Bree does have a nice ring to it. The woman chuckled from the silly pun. Yeah, better than my maiden name, that's for sure. Well, I think Summer MacDonald sounds like a royal country cottage, he added while twirling one of her loose curls. It's charming. You're the one that's charming, his wife countered, tapping his nose. The man stuck out his bottom lip and gave the booth a pleading glance. Please, Sums, let's have our pictures taken. Don't make me do those sad puppy eyes and the sad puppy whimper. After 2 seconds of tiny, pouty whines, the woman rolled her eyes. You just want us to sit down so you're taller than me. Hey, I'm a whole full inch taller, Josh, the 5'10" man. But I don't wear sexy-ass stilettos all the time. Unless you want to dare me to. Perv, and these boots are only 3 inches. The woman laughed with a shove. However, her beaming husband had put his wallet away and was still gesturing the bill. Eh? She reared up her head with a defeated moan. Fine, but you're the only reason I'm doing this. But please don't ask me to. You know what? Okay? Yes! Happily, the man practically bounced in front of the booth. Pulling its curtain apart, he performed a low bow. "My lady." The woman smiled proudly. Since she had known him, not once did his politeness wane. She mocked a curtsy. "Thank you, good sir." After stepping inside one at a time, the couple sat down on the flat padded bench, putting their last-minute gift bags by their boots. The backdrop was a simple, snowy forest illustration, and the woman shivered internally at the mere thought of ice. While her husband fed the money in, she straightened her leggings and ran her matching teal-painted nails through short, sandy blonde hair. Fuck, I'm such a mess right now. Same as the first day. The woman's lips flipped up again. She loved when her man said that. She was referring when they met in preschool. He had plucked a white rose from the garden and gave it to her on her first day after registering a month late. He said the new girl looked like a cute bunny and should have a flower just as pretty, which had sent the newfound friends to the school nurse, on the account of the courteous 4-year-old needing many finger bandages from the bush's thorns. His tiny maiden staying with him for moral ouch support, and ever since, the two had been an inseparable pair. The young newlyweds put their heads together, waiting for the red light to switch to green. "You're gonna smile all the way, right?" The posing man whispered behind a pearly smile. The woman blinked widely. "I thought you weren't going to ask me that," she hissed under a big closed grin. "I never answered, did I? Son of a bitch! Come on, lighten up this old booth. Don't you— Ah!" The man wiggled his fingers behind his wife's sensitive neck, causing her to squirm and giggle between the flashes. "Okay, stop! Uncle! I'll smile for you!" Soon afterwards, the couple stepped out of the metal photographer and waited for their strip to slide out of the slot. With bated breath, the woman removed the newly taken photos, and with her fingertips trailing down them, her glossy pink lips puckered. "Christ almighty," she exhaled disappointingly. "I'm a deranged fat hippo. I need to work out. And if my teeth weren't so fucking sensitive, I would get 'em." The self-conscious woman stopped complaining. Her husband was gazing down at the silly and overdramatic poses like he was admiring the Mona Lisa. A warm smile was spread across his strong features. "Baby, are you listening to me?" The man took his wife's slender wrists in hand. "Sums, you are far from being a plumpy hippo." He gave her a soft squeeze. "And your cute bunny smile should never, ever change." Her lips started to rise, but when glimpsing at one of the shots, her thin eyebrows knitted. "Hey! Why'd you give me devil horns?" He shook his head. Ears for the cute bunny. He scuffed the top of her curly scalp. "Since you don't wear pigtails anymore. Like since I turned 5? The woman corrected while resuming to view the photographs. Despite her life partner's pep talk, a groan escaped her. "Still though, I look like—" Her vexing was extinguished as she felt a confident hand lifting up her chin, and her eyes met with the twinkling ones adorning small creases from true blissfulness. "Same as the first day, Sums." After the cherished remark, the blushing woman's mouth extended wide, her center top gap exposed freely. Tugging the man's covered chest, she pulled him in towards with the smile that was only and ever meant for him. Once both of their eyes fluttered open and their lips softly parted ways, the man looked up at the photo strip. "May I, my lady?" With a small nod, the woman slowly handed it over. "May you what, good sir?" she deeply whispered. "May I?" The man gently kissed the strip, then winked. "Show Mom and Dad the pictures." His wife's half-lidded eyes shot open. "What?" The man quickly headed in the mall's eatery direction, as his discomfited wife, almost forgetting the 2 bags, rushed after him. "Hey, get back!" she huffed between giggles. "Get back here! Stop!" "I'll stop if you dare to shop in there." Her sprinting, leering husband had pointed to an adult store's window display of lingerie, causing the jogging, modest woman's face to flush even darker. "Perv!" The dashing, bantering newlyweds' boots clicked through shiny linoleum, the woman calling out her beloved's name between their jolly laughter, which rang through the hall over Tchaikovsky's Mary's Dream. Memorable laughter that was scratched out by a piercing shrill. The sudden shriek had shook Summer from her nostalgic thoughts. It was not the cursed howl that she was anticipating again, but rather a trilling, terrified scream, which didn't make it any less worse either. The woman frantically returned the photo strip to the compartment and switched on her Jeep's high beams. Still breathing heavily from being startled, her large pupils alternated in every direction for any sign of anything. But Summer could only see the snowfall. She groaned nervously and turned on her windshield wipers. Of course, now the storm's shit starts to hit the fucking fan. After half a minute of waiting for the glass to become clearer, Summer resumed squinting through the frosty forest. No movement other than the winter-winded evergreens. Then it hit her. It wasn't just movement that she needed to watch out for. Crazy but feeling absolute, she returned the sidearm within her coat and went through the pack, revealing a handheld camping lantern. Cautiously, Summer opened the Jeep's door, stood up, and pulled the lamp open. Little by little, she waved its bright beam in front and all around her cold self. The woman's fast inhalations hitched when, under blinking snowy flashes, she noticed something a little ways away, behind some trees. It wasn't moving. However, it caught her attention for not just appearing, but also the bright color blotched all over it. With an unsteady gulp of air, Summer's flat-heeled boots gradually trudged towards the reddish object. As she stood over her directive, her face went as white as the ice that was beginning to frost the blizzard-breezing fur. It was a raccoon, and a very dead one at that. The still gaping animal's throat and underbelly were sliced straight down. Viscera was splayed out in a full massacred display. A bit of steam was still emanating from the butchered omnivore, which meant that the bitter air had no time to chill it. Summer's eyes examined the mutilated, tepid animal. Suddenly, she retreated to her Jeep. This raccoon was not only freshly killed, but it was uneaten. The woman felt as if her heart was able to pulsate until the major muscle reached her throat. No normal predator would have just slaughtered their prey and leave a life-saving meal in this mess of a brutal season for the scavengers. Fearfully cursing to herself from the storm diminishing any possible tracks and for disregarding her own fragile life, Summer shoved a hand into her coat's pocket. She now knew the reason behind this kill. It wants someone else to find this. When she readied her revolver after opening her four-wheeler's door for some sense of security, the whistling wind carried a noise that was caught by the woman's covered-numbed ears. Retrieving the lantern from the seat, Summer stood up. Her mouth was competing with her eyes for size from the distant, distinguishable sound, but it wasn't the expected ethereal howl that had been disquieting the woman's dreams for 10 long years. It was the yearning, vanished voice of her significant other. "Sums, are you there, love? Sums!" "Baby?"